Okay. Good afternoon,
Good
ladies
afternoon,
and
guys.
gentlemen. Okay, good afternoon, sir. Mr. Awe. All right, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please. So, please let me know if I'm audible from your emojis and chat box. All right. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon once again. All right. Thanks so much. I welcome you all for this afternoon session. As we all know, it is not over until it's over. We are not going to relent until you all get it done. The next level is for everybody. So without wasting much of our time, we proceed straight away to the business of the day. But before we proceed, I would like to remind you that this segment is sponsored by the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria, Lagos State Chapter. This is the union, the only union that care for their members, that after their welfareism and also after their success. I don't know of any other union, but I can confirm to you, and I'm very sure that you can confirm too, that this is the only union section that really confirm are looking for the progress of their members. So without much waiting of our time, we call on the chairman of the union, Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria, Lagos Chapter, as usual, to give us some courage, word of courage, prayer. Mr. Balogun, are you on this call, sir?
Thank you very much. I'm here. Good afternoon once again, my fellow participants.
Good afternoon,
sir. Let me also use this opportunity to appreciate and thank our facilitator, Mr. Awe, for finding time to be with us today. He has been coming, and we want to appreciate you, and also to appreciate the coordinator, Knowledge Hub, Mr. Jamil. I want to really thank you for the effort so far. You've been very, very helpful to every one of us. And we are the climax of the whole thing now. I'm very sure by Tuesday, by the special grace of God, the assessment would commence. And I want to use this opportunity to also tell members, participants to be calm and to be focused and to have that confidence that with all what you have put into this struggle, that by the special grace of God, you are coming out successful, and we're going to meet you at the next level. And on behalf of the leadership of Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria, Lagos State Branch, I want to appreciate every one of you. And don't forget that we are in it together, and we're going to be with you in case you have any technical issues during that assessment. Please let us know so that we can quickly escalate it for you, because it is very, very important that you don't have any issues on the day of the assessment. So once you have that, please let us know, and you should be sure that we'll take it up for you. So, and I want to wish you a successful outing come the time that we are going to have your assessment. Congratulations in advance. I will meet you there. Thank you very much.
All right. Can you please use your emojis to claim the prayer? It's very important. We need prayer in this time we are. Àdúrà ló lè ṣe ohun gbogbo. It is only prayer. After the prayer is prayer. Let your emojis coming up to appreciate our wonderful chairman of the wonderful union, the union that care for its member, the union that after their member success, the best level. You have heard from the horse's mouth, but notwithstanding, don't say because are there for you and you don't read, you don't do anything, you now get there and said, okay, the system is not functioning very well. In this case, what the union is trying to tell you is that lift your load so that they can support you. Do the necessary thing. Part of the commitment towards the achievement of the exam screening is what we are doing now, and appreciate your commitment. So I'm promise you that you get value for your participations. And also, don't forget to navigate to our YouTube channel. If you are getting any doubts on something, maybe you are racking your brain. Now we are not a kid any longer. We are all adults. So we have many things that are running on our brain. We are multitasking before we compile this to this and that and that. So we might forget. So that is why we get you covered. We have backup for you. Navigate to our YouTube channel. Subscribe. When you get there, you see video and you see live. After viewing all the video sector, proceed to live. Because due to the network glitching these days, we couldn't be able to get some recording down, but live streaming got our back. So when you get to our YouTube channel, if you don't find what you are looking for at the video section, click on live. You will surely get it there. Thank you so much for your commitment and participation. So we move straight to the point, to this afternoon business. So today we are having one of our stakeholders, the leader that has commitments for the achievements of colleagues, downline and subordinates. So good afternoon, distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I am your regular host, Jamiu Onosanya. I am delighted to welcome you to another knowledge enriching section under the Public Service Knowledge of 2026 Petition Tutorial Series. Today's topic is strategic, crucial, and directly connected to your performance, workplace rights, and success in the upcoming 2026 promotion evaluation. Public Service Rules, Chapter 10, topic on the grievances and petitions and appeal. This chapter forms a major part of civil service discipline, employee rights, administrative justice, and the proper use of official channel. Understanding it is not optional. It is mandatory for every officer who desires to progressive career in public service. Before we begin, please permit me to set the tone for today's lecture, why the topics matter, It clarifies how officers can seek redress lawful within the system. It explains petition procedures, timeliness, and the hierarchy of appeal. It helps officers avoid career-damaging mistakes, especially regarding misconduct, insubordination, and improper communication. It is prepare officers for promotion interview question, often draw from Public Service Rule Chapter 10. It also equips you with knowledge that strengthens professionalism and administrative confidence. So today, we have a well-grounded facilitator, a seasoned administrator with strong HR and public service rule interpretation expertise. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our distinguished facilitator, Mr. Jamiu Abiodun Awe, MCIPM, HRP, LDA, BSc, MSc, a dedicated professional known for his depth in HR processes, PSR interpretation, administrative system, and staff advisory role. He brings with him practical experience across the HR operation and is well positioned to simplify Chapter 10 for all cadres, for junior to senior officers, especially those preparing for the upcoming promotion evaluation. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, with your emojis, let it keep on rolling. Let it keep on rolling. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Jamiu Abiodun Awe to the floor. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, my brother Luko. Thank you for what you are doing.
You're welcome, sir.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Everyone.
You have the floor, sir.
You might need to share my slide from your end. Or
Okay,
you
sir.
want to do that for me?
Can you see my slide, sir?
I can see it, but it can be a bit larger than that.
Okay, sir. I'm coming, sir.
Just make it full screen.
Is it okay now, sir?
Okay, better like this.
Can you see the slide now? Okay, sir. Please.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Happy Sunday to us. I can. Okay, good. I'll go ahead now. Hello, Mr. Jamiu. Hello, coordinator, are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you, sir. Go ahead, sir. You have the floor, sir. You have the floor, sir.
Good. 1 minute. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I'm trying to have a second back to this network that's fluctuating. He actually threw me out in the first instance. So that's why I'm trying to have the second one. So in case anyone goes out, I can use my phone or I can use my system. I want to say good afternoon to every one of us. It's a good Sunday. Wish us a good weekend and a new week. Today we're going to discuss about the public service rules. Before I start that, I want to first appreciate the coordinator for what he has been doing. I actually nicknamed him, though I call him local my sake, but I give him the other name that I also bear, and that is Kerosene, the man that doesn't sleep. So we thank God for your life and we pray for good sustainability. So that being said, I also want to thank the Senior Staff Union Association for all they have been doing for us. We appreciate it and we don't take it for granted. And good enough to say, I am also one of you writing exam for this year, so we are in it. It's going to be a good one. It's a very good interaction, and I wish all of us a very bit of engagement. So, having said that, we're going to look at the 10th chapter of the Public Service Rules, which is Grievances, Petitions, and Appeal. I want to say without doubt that in all of the timetable or kind of procedure they've given us that we're going to handle within these exams, I think we have chapter 1, chapter 2, 4, and 10 and 12. So most of those chapters have actually been treated. I remember on one of these platforms, I've treated chapter 2. That was some weeks back. I think that was in August. So now the last chapter that was that's part of our area of concentration for this promotion exercise is chapter 10. And that's why we're coming to pick this one. I think every other chapters have been taken care of, except this chapter 10. So that's what we're going to look at today. Beyond that, if we're going to go further on after this chapter 10, there are a few nuggets that the coordinator has actually said we should speak around, more of a kind of case studies. If we're able to look at it today, we will look at them so that it will be a kind of added advantage to us. So the table of content that is going to look at is we're going to look at introduction into what chapter 10 speaks around. We're going to look at what is a public service rule itself, just as a kind of reminder to all of those chapters that have been treated earlier than now. We might be very unlucky that we don't, partake in some of those chapters that have been done earlier than now, and some of those things have been said before now, but to just be a refresher to us. That's why we said we learn, we unlearn, and relearn. So in the course of this, we'll speak directly to chapter 10, but before the chapter 10, in these prologues, we're going to speak to what the civil service, what the public service rule is all about, and how many chapters we have, and the nugget around the public service rule. Then we'll now come back to the overview and the sections of that chapter 10, as it were. Then we'll wrap up with a note on conclusion, and we'll just run through quick question and answers. Why I know there are many other things we need to run also today. Why we prepare for tomorrow, and the exam start properly on Tuesday. So let's move on. The coordinator, please, can we go on? Benjamin, are we there? Yes, thank you. Introduction. Public service rules ensure that all public servants of Lagos State Public Service are well acquainted in every aspect of public service terrain. And these terrains are all terrains of intelligence, are all terrain intelligence in line with the rules, the processes, and the procedures for the conduct of public service to ensure that Lagos State Public Service works for us. So what we're speaking to, we're not talking to chapter 10 in here now. We're speaking to the fact that public service and public servants of the state should and must be acquainted with every aspect of the public service terrain, all terrain intelligence that are in line with all the rules, the process, the procedure of the conduct of public service should be well acquainted around to ensure that the public service of the state works for all of us. And when we say us here, all the stakeholders that has to do with public service, the officers themselves, the state governments themselves, and the public that we're actually serving. So it's a kind of stakeholder around all of us, the internal and external customers. That is why we must know and we must be acquainted with this public service rule. Now, consequently, the rules, processes, and procedure for the conduct of public service are therefore contained in the public service rules. That is, like I said, and many other persons have said that this forum, that this public service rule is a Bible that we use in our church today, is our Quran, it's our guide, it's our compass, it's the thing that shows us around on what to do, what not to do, what gives us the best, and what can actually reprimand us or bring us down. It can only make or mar us if we do it right or we do it other way around. So next slide, sir. So public service rules. A large workforce like the Lagos State Public Service, inclusive of its local government employees, numerous parastatals and commissions, comprising over 100,000 officers, employed to relate with themselves and the members of the public, with intention to provide services and solve problems, requires rule of engagement. Like it is always said, where there is no rule, where there is no law, there is no crime, there is no sin, there is no punishment. There's something that should guide all of us in everything we do. When we have a car to drive, there is always a manual to it. Even when you don't carry the manual all around, you know this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. When you get to a bump, you slow down. You apply the brake. When you get to a slope, you slow down. When you get to a corner, you slow down. When the rain is falling, you put on your wiper. When it's light in the getting late into the night and it's getting dark, you put on your headlights. These are rules that guide us. When you want to eat, what do? You clean up, you sit fine. You have the rule of engagement. You do even ordinary eating. He said, when we have table manners, we keep quiet. Those who tell us to keep quiet while we're eating, they are not saying it because if you don't do that, the food won't go in. If you do it, it will not be on the right path. But for your safety, for your health, it might be something super precious. It can go the other side of you. And, but these days, all of us, even while we eat, we use our phone. We are not using our phone. We're doing some other thing. We are always multitasking. I'm not sure there is even one or two or few of us now that can even go eat without doing anything. Is that we're talking? Is that we're reading? Is that we're even using our phone? We're just multitasking like every other time. Yes, but even at that, there are rules of engagement. So everything we do, we want to go to the toilet, I will use it. You pull this up, you put this down before you use it. When you use it, all of those things. There are rules of engagement. When you get to the office in the morning, what you need to do. When you are going in the evening, put off all the electric gadgets, put off this, put off that. Those are rules of engagement. Now, when you are now speaking to issue of public service rule in its entirety, it means that there are rules of engagement you must follow. And when you follow it, it makes so seamless, so good enough, and it's very, very convenient. But when you don't take or follow the rules of engagement, there are always issues. So this is what we're speaking to here, that the intention to provide services and solve problems require rules of engagement. So further to the above that I just spoken to, grievances, petitions, and appeal, which is the 10th chapter we're taking care of right now, is expected from each and all of us as public servants and stakeholders that are around within public service. And I tell you, when we speak to issue of public service, it's not about we as public servants alone. It's also about our employer, about government, about the state government itself. It's also about the public that we're serving. So we have stakeholders around public service. So public service is not just the quadrangle of the allowance that we have. It's not our commissions that we have. No, public service goes beyond that. It has to do with the entirety of the public servants, the government itself, and the public that we are serving, and every other stakeholders that comes around it. Even our external customers, our contractors, they are also people who are stakeholders that we must manage around these grievances, appeal, and petition. Now, consequently, without clear grievances, petitions and appeal processes, rules and procedures, the public service conduct within and with members of the public will simply be chaotic. If there is no guide at all, if there's tendency for grievances within us as individuals, as team members, as office workers, inter MDAs, there is bound to be grievances. No, that generator will use it together. No, we can always manage this one. We have issues around our MDA. There is no light. I just want to print one copy of this and it's going for an urgent matter. Please, can I just print one page from your end here? For goodness sake, this is public service. Where I work and where you work, the MDA are not the same. But we are always running around the same mandate of giving the best of public service. So if I had come to you to come and print one page that is an official letter, and I want to sit at your table and say, please, can I just print this copy? For goodness sake, within two of us, it's not even about conflict of personality now. It's just a conflict of, no, you cannot print. This is where there is a delineation of offices. There is a no. What we're saying is there is bound to be grievances within individual, within inter-MDAs, within it's possible. It is possible between the downline and upline there. It is even possible between an external person to us. The public can have a very big grievance around us, against us. A petition can be written against us, even as individual staff, from an outsider. So how do we manage it? You can also have around even your downline or your upline. How do you manage it? Without a clear grievances, petition, and appeal processes, the rules and procedure of all these grievances, petition, and appeal, if we don't have a straight jacket procedure to it, the public service conduct within all the stakeholders will simply be chaotic. Next slide, sir. I hope you can hear me loud and clear. Hello, Mr. Chairman. Next slide,
sir.
Please.
You are clear, sir. Okay, sir.
Now, just to remind us, these are issues we have spoken around, and every time I had the opportunity to treat issues around public service, it's just a reminder to us. There are 12 chapters in the Lagos State Public Service Rule 2015, as it were. That is what we're still using. We are very, very concerned with it now that there is a new cake in the oven, almost ready, very ready. We should just be anticipating the launching of those coming out to us. It's a baby, it's still going to come to us. We know our leaders, our elders have been working morning, after night to make sure that this is for the benefit of all the public servants. So when that one comes in, then we will now be speaking of another new public service rule. Maybe we call that 2026 or 2025 or whenever it is supposed to come. But we know they are working so assiduously to make sure that we are all comfortable and we are all fine with the provisions of the public service rule. That's going to be very, very convenient, seamless, and within the mandate accomplishment for all of us. Now, the public service rule that we're still presently using has 18 chapters. 18 chapters. So we are really treating grievances, petition, and appeal today, which is chapter 10. I am sure on all of those that were given to us to read for this promotion assessment, I'm sure that chapter 10 is part of it. We have treated chapter 2. I think I've treated chapter 2 in August. I know some of my leaders have treated the last 2 chapters. I think that is 12 and 4 that has been treated. So please let us try and as much as possible go over it again. If we can go doing the reading, good. The other one we have done before, I'm sure the presentation slide is still with us. It's on the platform and is on the YouTube with Mr. Jamil on his page. We can go back and look at that. So we're treating just chapter 10 today. there are 18 chapters. Let us, as much as possible, know we have 18. And if we can have that 18 on our head, it's good for us, so that when we're speaking to the public service rule, we should be able to speak to what chapter has this topic, what chapter has that topic. And I'm sure us as public servants, this 18 is what we can know offhand. If anybody is speaking to you and speaking, what do we have on chapter 15? You should be able to speak to allowances. And when they say, what do we have on chapter 4? We should be able to say disciplinary, because I know, like we have from the pages of the Quran 1 to 116, 114, and from the beginning of the Bible, Genesis to Revelation, some of us can post the whole Bible all our head. Public service rule is our Bible, is our Quran. So we should be able to know the chapter just offhand, even if we can put line by line for each of the 18 chapters. We should know what the 18 chapter speaks to. Next slide, please. Mr. Jamiu, next slide. Thank you. So some nuggets we want to look at public service rule. These are issues we spoke to before, and I'm also trying to repeat this one for insight of those of us who have not picked up this before, and also is as a reminder. So the following should be taken into account while going through the public service rule. Please, we should know this one. Please, we should know it. Now, what are the methods of numbering in public service? You know, there's always numbering there. We have almost 6 digits numbered at every part of our public service rule, and each number has the meaning. So we're going to speak to that. What are the methods of numbering? Each rule has 6 digits. 6 digits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like 6 digits. The first 2 indicate the chapter of the public service rule. Like I say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It means 1 and 2 indicate the chapter of the public service rule. The next 2 numbers, which is 3 and 4, that one indicates the section. And the last 2, which is 5 and 6, indicate the rule number. I'll take that again. Each rule has 6 digits. The first 2 indicate the chapter, the next 2 indicate the section, and the last 2 indicate the rule number. So I'll give an example to that. 100201. 100201. The 100201 means the first rule is the first rule in the second section. 100201 means the first rule in the second section of the 10th chapter, or is it rule 1, section 2 of chapter 10? I think you can just help me with that. So then the arrangement of chapters, section, and rules. The rules as 18 chapters are arranged accordingly. Then the public service rule is made available to all categories of public servants in Lagos State, as they are required to familiarize themselves with the content. I'm sure this one is clear. Next slide, please. Thank you. Now we're going to go into the main business of today, and that is the chapter 10. We're going to look at the overview now. Grievances, petition, stroke appeal. Grievances, petition, stroke appeal. So there are 2 sessions in this chapter. 2 sessions. There's a general sections which deals with 3 subparts. One is whistleblowing / grievances definition. It also speaks to issue of procedure into grievances and petition and appeal. So there's a procedure which must be followed. If that procedure are not followed, then it becomes null and void. If you have to follow the procedure, how do you do it? So this chapter explains that to us. And petition to the head of government. That is what this section 1 speaks to. This section 2 speaks to issue of petition itself. So that one is now saying, is speaking to issue of application, external influence, identity of petitioner, petition submitted on behalf of an illiterate, routine of petition, numbers of copies, disqualification, delay in petition to be explained, and the conclusion on petition. That is the overall view of what we're going to discuss. The first section is on general, the second one on the petition. So, Mr. Yami, roll over, please. Thank you. So, like I just said, the first one we're going to deal with now, that's section 1, which speaks to issue of the general. Now, the first one is whistleblowing, grievances definition. The second part is procedure, and the third part is petition to head of government. We're going to be taking it one by one and explain as it follows. Next slide, please. So we are going to speak to general principle. That is section 1, general principle of grievances, petition, and appeal. Government make every effort to ensure that all members of staff in its employment are treated with consideration and fairness under the best possible conditions. I repeat that again. Government, and when I say government, we're talking about Lagos State government, Lagos State public service. They make every effort to ensure that all the members of staff in his employment are treated with consideration and fairness under the possible conditions, best possible conditions. However, procedures have also been established whereby concerns, grievances, or dissatisfaction are addressed. A grievance procedure as contained in the public service rule shall be adhered to. So there is no time. Who is one call collect money? Mr. Jamin, somebody is distracting us. Can you mute that person, please? So what we are saying is the government of the day on our MG through our public service office and our own admirable head of service, they have done everything possible to ensure that all of us as public servants of Lagos State are given and treated with considerable fairness under the best possible condition. However, there is no way the tongue will stay in the mouth, sometimes without it not biting itself. It can be you downline with the upline. It can be upline to the downline. It can even be colleagues. It can be third party. It can come in any way when it comes. No, go back to the slide. Let me finish that slide. So it is possible somehow that grievances could come, concerns could come, dissatisfaction could come. So they don't leave it at that they have given you considerable fairness, that they've treated you fairness. They have also given us a link. They've given us that opportunity that should there be any grievances at all, should there be any concerns at all, should there be any dissatisfaction at all, they have made procedures for us as contained in a public service rule that we can adhere to resolve all of this. Next slide, please. Next slide, thank you. So now we're going to look at, under the section 1, we're going to look at rule 100101. 100101. I'm sure by the rule I explained earlier on how we number the 6 digits, this should be clear to us now that we are on chapter 10 of the public service rule, and we're speaking to rule 1 of section 1. That is chapter 10, section 1, rule number 1. And what does that say? It says all officers have the opportunity to raise concern. All officers have the opportunity to raise concerns should they have a reasonable suspicion that unlawful conduct, malpractice, or criminal negligence is occurring, or has occurred, or is likely to occur. So while we say the state government had given us a fair room for engagement in public service, they've also believed that there's every possibility that anything can happen. So they gave us the opportunity that should we have any issue, should we have any concern to raise, or we even feel suspicious of any unlawful conduct, that we should make a reasonable way of bringing it up. So it speaks to A and B of it. One is the whistleblower. A whistleblower raises concern to higher authority about alleged misconduct. Please, let's be careful and look at those words that are very, very germane. And the first paragraph, it spoke to issue of to raise concern, should they have a reasonable suspicion. Let's underline that. Reasonable suspicion that unlawful conduct, malpractice, or criminal negligence is occurring, has occurred, or is likely to occur. Reasonable suspicion. We will get to it in the course of this presentation. That reasonable suspicion is a word we should hold on to. You don't just come and start giving petition and start making unnecessary concerns about it. It has consequences. So it must be a reasonable suspicion, not just anything. You can't crook up any issue. You can't say anything just like that. There must be a reasonable issues around what you're saying. Now, a whistleblower also raises concerns to higher authority about alleged, that's the language, that's the word, alleged misconduct occurring in his office. When you see is there, you can put your R also. This masculine gender is representing all of us as public servants. So when you see is and I don't put R, it doesn't mean it is for only male, it's for all of us. So a whistleblower raises concern to higher authority about alleged misconduct occurring in his or her office and or the service. He is not expected to suffer a detriment or any form of retribution as a consequence of the action if allegations are upheld. This suspicion should be investigated. That's the word. I will continue to hammer on all of those words that we need in the course of this presentation. This suspicion or suspicions should be investigated by the relevant PMB. However, officers with no reasonable grounds for making malicious claim of misconduct, malpractice, or otherwise shall be subject to appropriate disciplinary action. I just said that one up there without getting to this. I said that person who is making unreasonable or officers with no reasonable ground for making malicious claim of misconduct, malpractice, or otherwise shall be subject to appropriate disciplinary action in accordance with the provision of relevant rules in chapter 4. We know what chapter 4 speaks to, issue of disciplinary. That's why I said we should know what the chapter speaks to. Chapter 4 speaks to disciplinary. So that person will be subjected to disciplinary action. So mo kàn gbọ́ lẹ́nu wọn ni ẹni báyìí ló sọ. I thought that the eyes, the body language speaks to that. When I see him do that, I thought that no, there must be a reasonable ground for every suspicion, for every issues you are raising. Now, what is grievance? Grievance is an adverse situation inimical to the interests of an officer. It includes, but not limited to, the following: injustice, wrong, the service, hurt, or injury, or etc., such matter will be formally investigated by relevant personnel management. See, these words are very repetitive. We should look at it and look at it very well. Issues that will be investigated. Relevant personnel management board. Next slide, please. That is rule 1 of chapter 10. Now, this one is rule 100102. What this one means is the chapter 10 and the section 1 and rule number 2. I hope we're getting it like that. When we have 100102, we told you for every of the public service rule, there are always 6 digits to every rule. And the first 2 means the chapter. The next 2 means the session. And the last 2 means the rule number. So on section 1 of chapter 10, rule number 2, it states that if an officer is not satisfied, I pick that word, not satisfied. If an officer is not satisfied with the decision made which affect him or her, I hope you understand the him now will always mean the public servant, him or her, directly or indirectly, or the outcome of the grievance or a whistleblowing matter raised, a representation shall be made to the permanent secretary, head of ministerial department or agency. If the representation is unsuccessful, a formal written appeal can be made. What is this rule speaking to? Every officer that has had an issue of grievance, that he can establish and new as a procedure that he has to follow. And even if it is done by a whistleblower and that issue is raised, you have the right to raise it through your supervisor and to your head of the department or through your permanent secretary or a DG or a GM, depending on what you use in your ministry or extra-ministerial department, parastatal, or agency. This representation is going to be in writing. And if all of those you have done were not successful when you are doing the course of this reporting, then a formal letter of appeal can now be made. We will get there how that is done. The next slide, please. Thank you. Now, rule number 100103. That is chapter 10, section 1, rule number 3. Chapter 10, section 1, rule number 3. I'm sure by now every one of us know how to speak to this rule. All right, thank you. So every officer who has any representation of a public or private nature to make to the state government should address it to, please note this one, no. Here I'm not saying it will come out to, but I'm sure it is possible for us to have issues around this because it's a session, it's a chapter they tell us we should go through. So we should know where to pass our appeal, our petition, our grievances to. So every officer who has issue around public or private nature of grievances and need to make it to the state government should address it to who? 1, the chairman, State Civil Service Commission. Here where we have state, we put Lagos as it is. That's where we work. The chairman, Lagos State Public Service Commission. The chairman, Lagos Public Service Commission, or any other such body in respect of matters relating to appointments, including acting appointment, promotion, transfer, discipline, whistleblowing, and grievances. should we have any issue at all, we will write to the chairman, Lagos State Public Service Commission. But we will recall that from the first rule, the second rule that we spoke to, there is the process where it will start from. So it is when all avenue had been utilized and no result is coming and you want to make representation. That is when you are making this your appeal or grievances to the state government. When you are reporting to the state government, now that's the issue we're taking care of here now. It will start from somewhere. That's your immediate department, head of department, your permanent secretary. It's only when all of those do not work and does not solve the problem, you are now cascading this to the state government, and that will go through up to the chairman of the Public Service Commission, who handles matter in respect of appointment, promotion, transfer, discipline, and whistleblowing. You can't run into this state government straight off. You can address your petition straight to this chairman without going through the other end, or you will have utilized that end first. The other one is the head of service or similar authorities on matter relating to other conditions of service, e.g. leave, passages, allowances, pensions, and gratuity. So there are two issues to this. Is one, you just go straight direct to the Lagos State Chairman Public Service Commission, and it has an issue around which you can write petition or grievances to. The other one is issue we can bring to the office of the head of service on matters or authorities that relates to condition of service, which has to do with your leave, passages, allowances, pensions, and gratuity. Next slide, please. So, the same section 1, see add rule 4. So we have chapter 10, section 1, rule number 4. And it speaks to this. Any officer in the state public service may address the head of government by transmitting such a communication unsealed. Please, let's pick those one. You are transmitting your communication in form of grievance, petition, and whatever, unsealed and in triplicate. That's why I put it in bold and in cap lock. It must be unsealed and it must be in triplicate. That means three copies. Triplicate means 3 copies to any of the channels mentioned in the preceding rule, requesting that the petition be forwarded promptly to the head of government. The rule requiring transmission of communication to the head of government through the appropriate channel is based on the strongest ground of public convenience, in order that all communications shall be duly verified as well as reported on before they reach the head of government. So what this place simply means is that if you are reporting a petition, a grievance, and it's going to the head of government, and who are this head of government that we spoke to in the last rule? That is the Chairman Civil Service Commission or the office of the head of service. Before it gets to these 2 government head of government, you will have explored some other channels, which is through your supervisor, your head of department, your head of ministerial office, that is your PS, your MD, your DG, and it is only when those do not work that you now need to make official communication, and it's going to go through that your accounting officer, who will have duly verified this report before it goes to head of government, so that it's not sending, he or she is not sending on frivolous petition or uncompromising petition or petition that not follow due process. Now, any petition which does not follow the laid down channel shall be returned to the writer. Please note this. I've seen this in one of the objective question somewhere while I was reading through yesterday, that a petition which does not follow the laid down channel shall what? We shall be returned back to sender. That's just a simple language. Back to sender. So if they send back your petition to you, is there when you don't do it right, they will send it back to you. Because the person that is sending it, who is the accounting officer, will not go and look so authority that he or she is sending it to. So it will always be a back to sender. So should you want to write one, please be rightly guided. Next slide, sir. Next slide. Next slide. Are you sure this is the next slide? Hope you have not jumped one, shall. Mr. Jamil. Okay, good. Oh yeah, next slide. I think it stopped at rule 4. Now, we are now section 2 of the chapter. And this one speaks to issue of petition. You know, the one we spoke to speak around the general issues and procedures. This is the petition itself. And what we're going to look at on this one is around application. How did we apply petitions around all of those grievances we have? What are the external influences that will come around it? What are the issues around the identity of petitioners? What are the petitions submitted? Routing the petition, how do we do that? The numbers of session, but this one will be explicit. By the petitions, then what are the issues around the delay in petition, which will actually be explained. Then we'll now conclude on the petition. Okay, next slide, please. I hope we are to. Mr. Jamil, I want to be sure I am together with my people, that I'm not just speaking to the air. All right, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's go on. So we are now going to speak to issue of a petition. And thank you, everyone. Thank you. So let's go on. So petition, we are going to speak to the rules. I think this one gets as far as rule 9, if my memory is not derailing me. I know it's get as much as rule 9. So we're going to speak to that. So some of it you'll be seeing me putting rule 1, 2, 3. I will be combining some rules together if they are very close to themselves, very synonymous, or sometimes it's intertwined. I will actually put the two together. So now, when we are going to speak to petition, I'm seeing somebody calling me Mr. Petition. Yeah, in the chat box. I won't mention his name, but he knows himself. So don't worry. Now, we are going to speak to rule 10. We are going to speak to rule 100201. And that rule means that we're speaking to chapter 10, section 2, and rule number 1. I'm sure by now, every one of us has gotten this. So when they tell us we should explain what do rule 100201, what does it mean? I think we should be able to speak directly to it, that is speaking to chapter 10, section 2, and rule number 1. So what this rule speaks to is that for the purpose of this section, a petition is a formal appeal. Please, you know, I will need to hammer on some word when I know it's very, very important. It's defining petition to us here now. It's a petition is a formal appeal to the ultimate authority, and that is to the head of government, for special consideration of a matter affecting an officer personally. You are not writing petition on behalf of anybody. And if you have to write on behalf of anybody, maybe that person is an illiterate, and that one will be specified. But now it's speaking to the fact that petition is a formal appeal to the ultimate authority, which is the head of government. And when we treated head of government the last time, what do we call the head of government? We're speaking to the chairman, Civil Public Service Commission or Civil Service Commission, and we're speaking to even the head of service on matters that relate to their status and their offices. So, without prejudice to their constitutional rights, officers should, as much as possible, exhaust all avenue provided in public service rule and circulars to redress before proceeding to court. I spoke around this also, that when there are issues, what do you first do? It's an issue you speak within your downline, your colleague, your head of departments, your head of units, as much as your accounting officer. Should it now go beyond that? And it can be very, very unresolved. That is when an issue around the head of government will now come in. And for you to even do the head of government, you just don't jump the gun. You still have to go through the procedures. And if that one is not even at your own best interest, and you still want to push forward, then you will have exhausted all avenue provided in the public service rule. Public service rule. I told you the public service rule add everything in and out to deal with public service matters. So if there's anything outside public service rule you don't see, then there will be an issues around circular that will have taken care of it. If there are new and contemporary issues that are just happening, you can have issues sometimes that are not directly stated in the public service rule. Maybe those language were not even written. Like say somebody has a tinted ear. So if you don't see tinted ear in the public service rule, there will be issues around it. If it is wrong, I'm using that as an example now. I didn't say tinted ear, either it is right or it is wrong. You will know that the tinted ear, if it is not mentioned specifically in the public service rule, a circular will have dealt around that one. And issues around that will have been taken care of by extant rules. There will have been a matter that will have explained that same to you. If all of those do not work, that is when you will now follow the head of government communication. Most public servants has the right, I repeat, has the right to first proceed to court for any issues around his grievance without exhausting all avenues that have been provided by the public service rule within the public service where he or she is serving. Now, Rule 100202, which is Chapter 10, Section 2, and Rule number 2. This one speaks to petitions by an officer or by an ex-officer. That one is in bracket. Please, let's note that one. Petitions by an officer or by an ex-officer on matters relating to his condition of employment as an officer or his condition as a pensioner. You can now understand what by an ex-officer means now, because I know people will come for this one and say, there was a place when you were talking, you said by an officer or by an ex-officer. How do by an ex-officer come into it? Now it has been explained on the second line. He said, on matter relating to his condition of employment. That's your condition of employment. That's why you are saying an officer. And your condition also as a pensioner of government must be submitted in accordance with this rule set out in this session. Next slide, please. Hello. All right. Rule number 3, rule number 4, and rule number 5. So I pick them one by one. Chapter 10, rule number 3. It speaks to the fact that an officer must not attempt to bring political or other external influence to support his individual claims. Baba Sope, political issues, political matter, political influence, external influence around grievances is not encouraged. It actually says must not attempt to bring political or other external influence to support his individual claims. If he is dissatisfied, his proper course is to make representation to his immediate superior officer, I mentioned this, or permanent secretary, or head of ministerial, extra-ministerial department or agencies. And this one speaks to issue of MD, DG, ES, and all of those. If his representation is not successful, it is open to him to submit a formal petition to the appropriate authority under Rule 100103. I'm sure we all know what that one means. Those are the head of government. That was what that rule speaks to. If we go back to that rule, it will tell you should go back to the head of government. That's what we have in Rule 100103. Now, rule number 4. He said a petition must bear, please, let's listen to this. I'm not telling you this one will not come out in our CBT. And I'm not sure that it will not come out. And please just note it. Issues that are very germane like this, you must look at it. Those who are setting questions for us are setting from what we have read or what they say we should go and read. But when you see something that is very germane and very, very catchy, and you try to just gloss over it, I say, this one is important. Aside from the exams, you must know this. Aside from assessments, you must know this. This rule 10020204. It says a petition must bear. I'm going to mention it one by one, and I will put 1, 2, 3 to it, even when it's not there. A petition must bear 1, full name. It must bear 2, oracle number of the person that is writing. It must bear 3, the signature of the writer. It must bear 4, the address of the petitioner. Do we get that? I will repeat again. The petition must bear the full name. What makes a petition to be a correct one? Germane, accessible, acceptable. It must have the full name of the person who is writing the petition. It must have the oracle number of the person that is writing the petition. That person must sign his signature, authentic signature, not abbreviated signature. The person must write the address of himself as a petitioner. When writing by a person other than the petitioner, that is by proxy now, the signature and address of the writer must be included. If I am writing for somebody who is an illiterate, when I write, the address of that person who has a petition must be put in there. The name of that person who has a petition must be put in there. And that person, no matter how illiterate is, will be able to sign or thumbprint. And that must be included to allow it to be admissible by the head of government. Now, the rule number 5. He said, when a person submits a petition on behalf of an illiterate, the petition should contain a statement. Please note this. The petition should contain a statement that he has been asked to write on behalf of the illiterate. You must put there, it's compulsory, that this petition I have written has been asked and requested by someone who is an illiterate, and I'm writing on behalf of him or her, that I'm doing it by proxy. Mr. Jamiu Onosanya is writing a petition on behalf of Mr. Jamiu Abiodun Awe, who is an illiterate, on his request that he should help me to write it. Then he will put my name, he will put my address, he will put my oracle number, and will make me, who is illiterate, to sign or to thumbprint. Should you not write that statement that you were asked to write on behalf of the illiterate, then it means the petition remains null and void. And what happened? It is back to sender. Next slide, please. Now, the rule number 6. A petition must be submitted through the proper departmental channels. namely through the petitioner immediate supervisor or immediate superior officer and the permanent secretary or head of ministerial department, who will forward the petition with his or her comments and recommendation to the chairman, Civil Service Commission, or any other body or the head of service in accordance with the administrative instruction in force at the time. Please, let's note that one. Administrative instruction in force at the time. I'm sure what provision this line is making is, if you are writing petition on this, or this, maybe pending on the circular or extant rule, it should go to Civil Service Commission. This one should go to the head of service. Whatever that is in force around that time is what should be followed. So the public service rule actually make provision for either of the two, depending on the administrative capacity and where the petition is supposed to be routed to. Now, he now said that it is in the petitioner's interest that the above-mentioned rules concerning the routing of a petition should be strictly observed. I mention again, should be strictly observed in order that the petition will be duly verified and reported on before it reaches the final destination. So the reason why you are sending it through all of these superior officer, head of departments, MD, DG, ES, and stuff is for them to be able to verify that it's coming from you, and they have actually looked at it, and before you get to the final destination, they will also have done their due diligence. They can't and they won't in any way change what you have written. You have a copy of your own before you submit. So if there's any changes to it, you will know, because there is no petition you will write that you won't be called to come and substantiate it. And if there's any difference in it, you can actually take out your own copy and say, yes, this is my copy. This is the flimsy of what I wrote. I did not say this. I did not put this. So whoever that have submitted whatever they have done in between it, they should come and explain it. So you should be sure that whatever you submit is whatever they're going to push out. The best they could also do as the head of your ministerial department is to put their own recommendation or their own comment and said, yes, this is true and this is what we see of the matter, or no, this is what we think we should do around this, or three, that while we're looking at this, we can actually call the officer to make it maybe on the upper scale there to bring this down and talk around it. There are issues that even go to court, they will say, go and resolve it within your family circle. And public service can also be a family circle where issues will be resolved without getting too boiled up like that. So they can make their recommendation. And if the recommendation is not even positive to your own, they will see right. Say, don't mind the guy. He's always very frivolous. And when you come, he can write in English and start write submission and write memo. It's not part of his life. Just to write bad petition. They can write. Whatever they write is their right to their recommendation and comments. But only can matter. So when it goes to those people, they are up there. They are working in the best interest of the petitioner, the whistleblower, and the person who have actually written a case. So that stays like that. Now, rule number 7. A petition addressed to any of the channels mentioned in the preceding rule must be submitted. No. Yes, thank you. The petition addressed to any of the channels mentioned in the preceding rule must be submitted in triplicate. I said this before. And an advance copy shall be sent directly to the appropriate authority. This appropriate authority is your head of department, so who are going to look at it and, run their comments. We spoke to that. In either case, one copy will be retained by the permanent secretary or head of ministerial department just for their own input. All right, next slide, sir. That is rule number 8. I'm sure this is the second to the last. Rule number 8. A petition will not be entertained if I tell you, they are always back to sender. We have spoken around it. Now it is atomized here. And I will speak to this one by one. Every person has the right to write petition, but not every petition can be entertained, especially if it does not meet all of this that is going to be spoken to here. A petition will not be entertained, will not be accepted, will not be condoned, will not be treated if it's one does not comply with rule chapter 10, 0204. Because we are disengaged from speaking here, now you might not be able. I will have asked somebody to tell you what this rule speaks to, but I think I can actually speak to this also. Without going back the slide, I will have tell us. Mr. Jami, don't go back through the slide. I know it's what I can speak to of my memory. The rule, he said, a petition will not be entertained if it does not comply with rule chapter 10, section 2, and rule number 4. What does that rule speak to? 10.0204. It speaks to the fact that the person who is writing this petition must write his full name. He must have his oracle number. He must have an address. He must have his signature. If any of these four that I've mentioned, that was mentioned in rule number 100204, if all of these or any of these is not complied with, that it will be sent back to the owner. Send back, return to sender. So it will go back to the person that have written it because it become non-void. Number 2, the petition must deal with a case in which a legal action is pending in a court of law. If there is a rule, if there is a petition you are writing or grievances that you have had and you are now writing, and that case is in the law court, that petition will not be accepted. It's not an issue. It is not going to be accepted. So because it's in the law court already, either the issue of law court, you're the one that instigated it, or some other person has instigated it. As much as the rule is in the court, the petition is not going to be accepted. 2. Number 3, the issue of petition not be entertained is also if it is ineligible or meaningless. That's why I said petition is not about emotion. It's not about personal frivolity. It's not about I just want to write for writing's sake. No, it must be very, very meaningful. It must be very, very ineligible. If it is not, if it's ineligible, it's not going to be accepted. Number 4, it will not be entertained if it is anonymous. This one is just the same to rule number 1, which is 100204. Anonymous. You write a petition, you didn't put your name. It doesn't have address, no phone number, no signature. So you hate me. You don't have a petition against me. You don't put your name. You don't work with spirits. We say government don't work with spirits. The government, the head of government that's going to treat this will not work with spirits. So you must mention yourself. Your identity can be protected. You will be protected. Nobody, even a whistleblower, will be protected until when you and the person you are writing the petition against may need to meet one-on-one, so that at least the issue can be, headlong and resolved. But when you are writing, I say, I don't want to be known. I want you to keep it secret. What secret are you keeping if you are writing petition? You have the right to write, but you also have the right to be protected. So anonymity is not allowed. Now, number 5, if your petition is worded in abusive language, improper and foul languages, if you write foul language, you abuse somebody, is stupid, is the idiot. That's my organ when I speak to the issue and tell me when it comes with his foolishness and his stupid attitude, no. Foul language is not allowed. Write with decorum, even while you are going to drive in your case. You drive it with respect, modesty, and professionalism. So abusive word is not allowed. Improper words are not allowed. Foul language are not allowed. And lastly, again, you don't merely repeat the substance of a previous petition without introducing a new relevant one. You have written a petition before, and that petition has been taken care of, but you are not still comfortable about that, you still want to write, please write something different. The new issues are brought into it, not the same petition, just a reminder. And the same petition you are still writing after a PNB have been done on that, after due diligence have been done on that, you still now write the same thing. It will not be entertained. Now, on the B part of it, a petition submitted more than 6 months after the date of the decision complained of will also not be entertained unless such delay is supported by a valid reason or reasons as determined by the appropriate authority. If you have written a petition and is 6 months behind the date that the complaint has come off, and such issue has been actually taken care of before, it will not be accepted. Next slide, sir. Now, Rule 10.0209, which is Chapter 10, Section 2, and Rule number 9, which I think is the last part of this rule on this chapter. I think it is 9, but we will know now. A petition should conclude by stating concisely the nature of distress sought. Please, I repeat, a petition should conclude. When you are writing a petition, there must be a conclusion. And the conclusion is you must be very concise with the nature of redress you want. This man do this to me. I need a 10 million naira compensation. This person, at the time I came into service, I had a BSc, I have a MSc, I have a PhD, I have this, and I reported it when I came on, but I was placed on level 8. But now, because I've seen some other person, now my petition, what you are writing, that one is even an appeal, not a petition. What you are now sorting for is that I should be placed appropriately on level 10 on entrance, and the progression of my service should be done. You will write a conclusion, which should be concise, to speak to the nature of the distress that you are seeking for. A petition which exceeds, note that again, a petition which exceeds 2 pages of foolscap in length must also include a summary of the reasons adduced in support of the redress sought. If you don't write plenty, people are done full, 2 pages non-stop, and you are not even putting 1.5, not 2.0. You know, some of us can write. You will write from the first line of the page. Page 1, page 2. So even for you to even write your name and put just sincerely to sign, barely will you be able to have one. If it is something that has those 2 pages, you must write a kind of summary which will adduce you to support the redress that you have actually sought for. Next page. I think that is my conclusion. Right, good. Now, dear leaders and colleagues in the Lagos State Public Service, I wish on my personal note to encourage us, all of us, to thoroughly familiarize ourselves with the provision of the public service laws. This should be applied in conjunction with relevant executive orders, instructions, gazettes, circulars, and notices. We should not stop at the public service rule alone. We should also look at the relevant executive orders, which may have even at any time supersede what this public service speaks to. Also, you must also look at the instruments of government, the gazettes, as it is. Somebody is trying to intimidate me here. All right, I will continue. I think I will mention the name at last. Somebody is intimidating me and writing something to me while I'm going on. But let me just finish. So, with relevant executive orders, instruments, gazette, and circulars, we shouldn't just wait on the public service rule alone. We should be conversant with executive orders. We should be conversant with instruments of government, the gazettes of government, our circulars, as it were. Alausa alert is there. Alausa service done with one of our cerebral officers is there. Notices of government should also be taken care of. As public servants, we are duty bound to operate in strict compliance with all laws and procedure governing public service management, which includes this grievance, petition, and appeal process that we're speaking to. Also, public finance management should also be looked at, and the various policies and strategies of the state. This is essential to uphold due diligence through transparency, accountability, and integrity in the conduct of our government business. Next slide. I say thank you to all of us. God bless us. A better sitting endeavors and engagement in our assessment. Congratulations to all of us in advance. Thank you. Over to you, the moderator.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you too.
Please let your emojis keep rolling for this practical session. Let your emojis keep rolling. Can I bring the slide down, sir?
Yes, sir. You can.
Okay. Let me see your emojis. I know you have questions, full questions. This is very, very interesting. And I want to draw your attention that if you listen to our facilitator very well before he started the presentations, he said he is here fully, that he's even going to treat some case studies with us. So by the time we leave the call, we can be able to give God to glory. All right, without not wasting much of our time, I will start calling the participants for their questions. And please, because of time, your name, your ministry, and your question. Please don't let us dwell more on our personal issue, the issue you have with someone or whatever. We can't settle that here. The purpose of this call is knowledge sharing, is to prepare us fully for the upcoming promotion exercise. And I don't want this situation whereby we start, mute you because of what you are saying. Don't let us bring personal issue. Even if you want to come with a personal issue as a case study, let it be just concise, right? Please, thank you so much. Your name, your ministry, your question. Even if you want to appreciate the facilitator and the moderator, let it be intro. Don't just fagun like what he said. So please. I will call on firstly Ogunlewe Adejobi. Your name, your ministry. You have the floor.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good
My
afternoon,
name is
sir.
Ogunlewe Adejumobi.
Adejumobi, sorry for that, sir.
From Loma, Lagos Waste Management Authority. Assistant Director Procurement. Thank you very much, Mr. Awi. We really appreciate your teaching. Thank you very much. In fact, this teaching is not only meant for the promotion, it's meant for us to continue to learn, to know more about the public service role. So what I want to say is that in every chapter, there could be more than 2 rules. Like this chapter 10, I observed that there are 13 rules, 9 rules in the second section, and 4 rules in the first section. Am I right? It's an observation. Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for that beautiful observation, sir. The facilitator, sir.
Mr. Jami, on that, what he just said, I want to say that for every of the chapters, the sections are quite different. And I will tell you in all honesty that even this chapter 10 is one of the shortest one you have, where you have 2 sessions. There are 2 sessions in here. The first session just had 3 rule numbers, and the second session had 9 rule numbers. And even before I got to that, while I was speaking with you, I can tell you without even looking at the slide that I was too sure it's going to stop at rule number 9. Some had the rule number that can get up to 12 or even 15. But this particular chapter has section 1 that has rule number 4 or 5 that where it stops. And the second section had rule number 9 where it stops. Thank you.
All right, sir. Mr. Agulewe, are you good to go on that? Because I have the public service rule with me also. I'm seeing the chapter ended with rule 9. Mr. Agulewe, you have the floor. Do you want to say anything contrary to that, sir?
And what I'm saying is that, are we going to add the number of rules in section 1 and section 2 to make up all the rules in chapter 10? That's my question.
Okay, Civil Service Commission and the panel that is looking to public service rule will be the one to do justice to that. All right, thank you so much, sir, for your contribution. Grace Imoluame, you have the floor. Your name, your ministry.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I'm Dr. Imoluame, Grace Titilayo of Lagos State Health Service Commission. Of Lagos State Health Service Commission. I want to sincerely appreciate Mr. Awe for the educative and practical presentation. However, he has taught us about petition. What about appeal? Or is petition and appeal having the same procedures? That's my question. Thank you.
All right. That's a good observation.
Thank you. Thank you, ma. Why we speak to issue of appeal? If you look at the public service rule, it will put grievances. It now put petitions / appeal. The language is just a nomenclature. You make appeal for issues and you write petition against. Appeal is coming from you to request for something which you think is justifying to you, but you didn't get. Petition can be something that's purely what they've done against you that seems a bit not too palatable to you, and is very disheartening that you are writing. All of these things still go through the same procedure. So it is just an interchangeable language, words which you can actually use. So, and it actually speaks to it. The second chapter put petition, and petition is like petition stroke appeal. It's more or less, it depends on the nomenclature you want to use. If you are writing an appeal letter, you write an appeal. You are asking for something, and with your justification for appeal, okay, appeal for a review of grade level at entrance level, at entry level. When you are writing that one, it's an appeal you are making. But if you want to write a petition, then you are saying that, oh, no, I'm justified to that. I'll give an example to that. Somebody writes maybe you do a conversion process, and that conversion process, maybe at the time when you did that, it's either on your own side, you have done your conversion. You are not the one who is going to write exam and going to mark it. You've done your own, you've done your PMB, you've been there. But maybe peradventure at your MDA, the minute of meeting was not sent to Civil Service Commission for them to look at it and ratify it at the proper time. It takes longer than 6 months or 1 year, like they used to tell us that some ministry to do that. So if it takes long time, and unfortunately within the year, the letter from Civil Service did not come, but your conversion had been done. So, and it is time for you to do promotion. You are not ready to lose at the two end. You now write for promotion exercise. And when the two will come out around the same time, maybe the promotion exercise even came and the appeal for conversion has not been done. You know you're going to be charging. By the time your letter of conversion now came on, they now said, okay, you have duly been, after the sitting from the Civil Service Commission and the Kinikon have been ratified, you have been converted from executive cadre to officer cadre on grade level 7, and you will not be able to do any promotion until year 2028. 2028. You know, ordinarily what it means is that that's a big trouble. So it's either you are writing petition that you are not the one that had this issue, or you are making an appeal to them and say, come, I have done the due diligence. I wrote a letter for this request. I sat for the PAB. Due diligence was done. It is not on my own part that they didn't send any minutes, or I don't even know they didn't send any minutes. How could I now stay another 4 years without being promoted? So all of those things. So that's an appeal. But if you are now writing a petition, it's petitioning those who are supposed to do the job that have not done what they're supposed to do. So it is interchangeable. It depends on the context or content of your letter. That would determine which one is. Thank you. I hope that's clear.
Yes, sir.
All
Thank
right,
you so much.
sir. Beautiful clarification on that. It's either you write appeal or you write petition. Ekundayo Adeola, you have the floor.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I remain Adeola Ekundayo Hari. My MDA is Lance Bureau.
All right. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you
have
very
the floor.
much, sir. Much appreciation to Mr. Awe. My question goes thus. Please, sir, can you make us understand the difference between a public servant and a civil servant? That's one. Then my second question is, what is prejudice as a word in the civil service? Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm sure those two questions you have asked is outside these syllables. So I also want to make it as a point of reference for you that you go and read that up in a few minutes and you will get back to us. I'm sorry if the way I say it is not something you like so much, but I think we should. I have numbers of 7 or 8 persons that still put their hands on here. So if I finish with them and there's still time, I will answer you. But I'm sure it is an over-labored issue when we speak to issue of public servant and civil service. Then the prejudice also. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that response. Mr. Eric, please, I will advise you run through our YouTube channel. Some of our facilitators have take care of that. And the word prejudice, you can even check that on the dictionary. Please, if you know that your question is not in line with today's topic, don't let us call you, please. Thank you so much. I've said this before we start the session. Ask question that has to do with this topic. Mr. Jamiu Olowo Shile.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Olowo Shile Sulaiman Jamiu. A word of appreciation to the
Where is your
ministry,
sir?
Education District 6, sir. Education District. I'm sorry for that omission.
All right, sir.
So thank you very much for all that you do. So my own is like an appeal. While we were going on, when we were on 10:02:05, I don't know, maybe it is my network cut off. So before I could rejoin, we were already on 10:02:08. So all the rules 6 and 7, I did not have the opportunity of knowing what was said here. I don't know if we can be obliged to quickly run over that one for us, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right, sir. Noted, sir. The recap will be done, but noted.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
You speak to issue of which rules are you speaking to now?
Mr. Olowoshile.
Which rule did you speak to?
Rule 6
that you
and
missed?
7 of chapter 2. Hello, sir. Rule 6
Yeah.
and 7 of chapter 2.
That is
Chapter
not,
2.
I mean, rule 6 and 7 of rule 6 and 7 of section 2 of chapter 10.
all right.
Rule 6 and 7 of section 2 of chapter 10.
All right. Okay. Don't worry. Let me just go straight to it now. What Rule 6 says is that a petition must be submitted through the proper departmental channels, namely through the petitioner immediate supervisor. These rules, this thing you are asking, in all of these chapter 10, he spoke to it about 4 or 5 different times. So it's something that we are spoken around. But what it just means is that the petitioner must submit through a departmental channels, namely through the petitioner immediate supervisor or immediate superior officer and the permanent secretary or extra ministerial departments, which I say should be either the MD, the GM, the ES, or the permanent secretary, who will forward the petition with his or her comments to the chairman civil service commission or any other body that is related to answer issues like that. That is the head of service. And that will be in accordance with the administrative instruction in force at that time. And I repeated that this one, the reason why there is this line, administrative instruction in force at that time, is there might be an extant rule, a kind of circular that speaks to the fact that at this time, if issues like this happen, it goes to Civil Service Commission. If this one happened, it goes to the head of service. That was why there was that provision in the public service rule that should you have an issue surrounding this and this is where it should go. And he said when you are writing the petition, it should be strictly observed in order that the petition will be duly verified. Those people you have submitted it to will look at it, will observe it, verify it, and report on it before they finally send it or forward it to the head of government, which is the chairman of Public Service Commission or the head of service. That is Rule 6. Rule 7 speaks to the petition addressed to any of the channel mentioned above must be submitted in triplicate. We have also mentioned in one of the rules up there, but it's also emphasizing it here that it must be submitted in triplicate, which means 3 copies. And an advance copy should be sent directly to the appropriate authority. In either case, 1 copy will be retained by the permanent secretary or the ministerial department or agency. And also mentioned that the petitioner on his own or the person who is writing appeal should keep a copy of that letter to himself, or a copy of the appeal or a copy of the petition. You should keep it to yourself, so that by the time you are called in, someone in or come to speak to issues that you are speaking to, if you have any changes that have been done, either by those you have submitted it to before you get to the head of government, and they will read it to you and say, this is what you wrote. Is that? You can say, no, there's a particular order here that has been changed. There's a word there that I never used. And you can bring out your own copy and say, this is the original copy of what I wrote. Whoever that have done this change or manufacture another word for me, it is not what I wrote. So that is what Rule 6 and 7 spoke to. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, sir, for that.
I'm sure the slide are also shared, so you can also see it in the slide. Mr. Coordinator he has shared it on the platform already.
I've shared it, sir. Yes, sir. So, Mr. Olowoshile,
okay, let's go.
Try and join our channel so that you can get the slide and read through. Okay, sir. Chika, you have the floor. Your name, your ministry.
Okay, thank you, sir. My name is Chika Anidiobi Namaka. I'm from Lagos Waste Management Authority, Loma. Special thanks to Mr. Awe and you as well, Mr. Jamiu. Please, my question is a petition handwritten or typed? Then the second one is, you told us that we should submit the petition through appropriate channel, departmental channel. What if the scenario is the immediate superior that you are writing the petition against, submitting through the person? What if the person decides to step down the petition? What other process can the officer take? Thank you.
Mrs. Shika, sorry, ma. Is maybe you try and repeat all of those things. Said that thing was breaking, or you can type it on the chat box. But this is actually breaking. I don't know. I'm not sure it's my side here. I can actually not pick any of those things you have said.
Okay, do I repeat myself, sir?
We know you were speaking, but we couldn't hear you. I'm not sure if any other person can hear you, sir. Or
did I repeat myself?
try,
Yes.
man, so that if any other person gets you, that person can help you properly. But I never had.
She's
Okay.
audible.
Am I-
Go ahead, man.
Can you
Repeat
hear
yourself,
me
man.
now, sir?
Hello, sir. My first question is a petition handwritten or typed? Then the second one is
I can hear you very well. I can hear you. It's only Mrs. In India.
okay, I'll put it on the chat box, sir.
I can't hear the woman at all. I don't know if another person is hearing. Mr. Jamil, can you hear him? Can you hear her?
Okay. Yeah. Yes, sir. Clearly, sir. But can you hear me now, sir? Mr. Facilitator,
Mr.
sir.
Jamil, can you hear
Sir,
Mrs. Shika?
yes. I heard her very well, sir. Clearly, sir. But can you
Yeah,
hear me, sir?
I can hear you.
Okay, no problem. She want to use a chat box. So let's call on another person, then I will later check the chat box. Mr. Akere Kehinde. Akere Kehinde.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
My name is Kehinde Akerele, Deputy Director, Public Affairs, State Management Office. Good afternoon, my brother Jamil, the two Jamil. Good afternoon for the wonderful job you are doing. Mine is more of commentary than questions. I want us to do that Rule 04 and 06. In Rule 04, it stated that, that is the second part of Rule 04 stated that when written by the person other than the petitioner, the signature and the address of the writer must be included. While presenting this, right, I think there seems to be some distortion there, right? Because it was said that is it the writer or the petitioner you are talking about? Because from what is on Rule 04, is whoever is writing on behalf of somebody that the name and the signature must be there. So what about the petitioner himself? Because the way it is worded here, this area I want us to clear. In Rule 6.2, in line with what Ms. Chika was talking about, which our Yakobos was talking about, that in case you are writing a petition and the petition you are writing affects the accounting officer, right? How will you route it? Going by what we know in the service. Having said that, I think it's a challenge on you and I and every one of us that are in the service. When Mr. Okujodo was presenting yesterday, these are some of the things we talk about innovation, about new thing that is a reality of the system, right? That's some of the rules in the PSR need to be updated in reality with what's obtainable now, right? Oftentimes, there are so many officers that want to write petitions. It's matter that genuinely concern them within their MDA, but because of the possible stoppage they can get blocking from can get their superior officer or their accounting officer, they most often time those petitions does not see the light of day, cannot be written. So I think we should be thinking of way how that officer that has a genuine case be able to submit his own complaint, right, without the fear of his petition or his complaint not being blocked by the superior officer. So this is something we should think about. That, thank you. That's just my own reaction to this. Thank you. God bless you.
All right,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Akere, sir. Can you retake that? Because did you hear him very well, sir?
No, I just had the last part when he was speaking to the fact that maybe the petition
Okay,
should go
let
to
him
the appropriate.
recap. Mr.
Let me
Akere,
recap. I
okay,
can. Yes, I said on row 4, right? This the second sentence on the row 4 state that it should be written. When you are writing about somebody, right? The name of the writer should be there, right? This area need to be clarified very well, because is it the petitioner or somebody to write on somebody's behalf that it should be there? That's on row 4. On row 6, in that what Chika was talking about, right? About possible deny that could come from accounting officer, you are writing against the accounting officer, right? And I did refer to the presentation of Mr. Kudaro yesterday too, that the service is evolving, new changes are coming up, that this clause, rule 06, oftentimes denies some officers that want to write a genuine petition from writing because of the possible blockage they could get from their superior officer, whom they have to route the petition through. So whatever can be done, right, we should be put our think cap on at work, that whatever can be done without affecting the service procedure, right, that are not denied the officers desire to write the genuine complaint too. That whatever can be done so that those possible things we know do happen, right, should be thinking about that. That's my own comment. Thank you and God bless you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kerele. Let me speak to that area you spoke to, and I saw somebody also put something in comment. Let me read rule 0207 to you, and that one will clarify the fear you had on that side. Maybe sometimes we know that if you want to report your OGA or your superior officer, or even your PS, or even the head of your ministerial department, if you have any cause, it is in the public service rule that once there are issues that have resolved within your department going forward, and all of those things cannot go through, that you now need to report to the head of government, which here in the public service rule is stating the chairman civil service commission or even the head of service. Now, let's read this one. The rule 10, the chapter 10, section 2, rule number 7 says, a petition addressed to any of the channels mentioned in the preceding rule must be submitted in triplicate, 3 copies. And now look at the word that follows. And an advance copy, shall be sent direct to the appropriate authority. In either case, 1 copy will be retained by the permanent secretary. Now, let me say this to us. If you have done all due diligence and you have written, and you know that this your petition you wrote, or even your appeal, can be suppressed by your head of department or even head of your agency, an advance copy can be sent, and that will indicate it's an advance copy. It is going to be an indictment on that superior who suppressed that your copy, if you can push for it. And I will give an example to it. I just said it, that, okay, somebody did a conversion PMB. And this conversion has been done for even almost 2 years, and nothing came out of it. And now, within the year in question, the promotional exercise also came. He now felt that, as a conversion, nothing came out. And it's going to the head of department, going to the PS, and they said, commission on this or and this person is also due for promotion. So instead of losing at the 2 ends, you say, well, go and do promotion. And that person goes in for promotion. And they didn't say he's not eligible. He now finished promotion. Maybe he's on level 9 before. They now place him on level 10 in the sub cadre, or in the executive cadre rather. So now, because this person is coming on executive officer cadre, the conversion he has now done, the letter now came after the promotion. Let's say he has been earning from level 9, he's been earning level 10 salary as an executive. Now, as an officer cadre, maybe he was now placed on same level 10 on a lateral conversion. Now, but in the conversion letter, they now said you have been converted on the day of the sitting of the Civil Service Commission PMB board, which indicates that even 1 year after he's been collecting level 10, this year that they just sat is when the letter is ready. And they now even told that person that you will be entitled for promotion exercise in year 2028, which ordinarily if he's going to write promotion, he will have done promotion even a year before that and even end his level 12 instead of now getting. So the scenario is so bad that this person, if he writes appeal or petition, because the officer or the director admin and HR or the person in charge of the conversion system knows that it is their own fault that they did not, because if he goes into some public civil service commission and they now say it is not our fault, your letter, your minute of meeting for the conversion never came a year after it was done. This is when it was done. This is when the commission sat. It is not even that the commission was not there. There was a time we don't have members of the commission, maybe for some few months or a year before the commission we have now. So if it is a negligence from the part of the officers or the scheduled officer in charge of that issue, and this person is now writing a petition or an appeal, there's every tendency they will want to suppress it. So he can send in an advance copy and press against it, and even write to copy them that I have copied Civil Service Commission or copy head of service based on this I've written. I'm not sure that person will have a punishment or punitive issues on that, because it will have been double jeopardy for that officer, because it is not his own right to write the minute of meeting for PNB. But if they have not done it from his own side or from his own ministry, he shouldn't be culpable to that extent around it. So that's why rule number 2 and 7 actually, and you can make an advance copy. So I think that is what I can speak to on that. There is a provision for it. So it's not something.
Can I say something? Can I say something, Mr. Jamiu? Can I say something?
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead,
on
sir.
the rule 7 you mentioned, right? Advance copy.
Yes, sir.
That means the copy has been submitted and been endorsed by the concerned officer. If it has not been endorsed, how can you have an advance copy? You can only have a fresh copy. That's the one I'm talking about. That you want to have an advance copy, you must submit it with your superior officer, right, to the channel, and you must have endorsed it that you have seen this, and your copy go and photocopy and submit to the chairman. But if there is no advance for you to submit, right, that's what I'm talking about. You can look at that. That scenario could happen, right? But advance copy means that you have submitted to your office and has been endorsed and be accepted. But it's their duty to pass it while you submit an advance copy. So for you to have advance copy, if it has not been endorsed, you can't advance copy. I hope you get what I'm saying.
Sir. I get you very well. This is a practical example of what I've seen that happen. I have treated before. What I'm saying is, if you submit to your superior, even if it's your immediate officer, superior officer, you submit any letter to, that person have the right to make an acknowledgement that he collects that letter from you. Whatever one he acknowledged to have been collected or that you have submitted, you have the right to another copy, just like you will keep a copy of your own, and send that one with a new copy that you have done. So that head of department or head of government that is going to, that they've collected this from you, because you might even write another addendum on it to indicate that you are sure your letter may not come in, and that was why you have sent this advance copy. But you're born in the so sometimes some people are like that. And with all due respect to our leaders, not all of them are like that. Some people are culpable and they will just decide that this one will not go. But if you are smart enough yourself and you are good and you are very courageous to run your job, I tell you, you will go on any length and push issue. And at the end of the day, what you think will not happen will happen. It has happened to me. I know what I'm saying. And I know of every other person. I know I have like 2-3 other persons who is running this same issue and saying, we should go by. And when we get to commission, and I tell you, the commission brother will come and sit now. Come and sit down. This one did not come. Come and sit now. Issues like that. There are many officers who are suffering because of schedule officer are not doing their job or not doing the right thing. So sometimes it can happen. That's why there's every part of provision in public service rule. And I tell you that aside from the public service rule, if you go to my conclusion, I say it, that aside from the public service rule, I think it was the conclusion, yes. My conclusion when I was advising my colleague, I said, dear colleagues, please, I encourage you to be very thoroughly familiar with the public service rule. However, we should also try to do it in conjunction with the relevant executive orders, instruments, gazettes, circulars, and notices. There are some circulars that will teach us more about how we can route things beyond this public service rule, and it will be just in tandem with the same public service rule without having any foul issues around it. So it depends on the way you can go around it. It is very, very surmountable, but it depends on the individual that is handling it. Thank you for your contribution, sir. I actually agree with you, but we can push beyond this one. It depends on the individual who want to push it.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, sir. So the next, Mr. Okay, Taiwo Fadairo.
Sorry, before Fadairo, I lost out at that time. The asking question on either the petition or this thing, it can be handwritten or it should be typed.
Okay.
Well, basically for me, it is not a crime to write with your handwriting. It's good enough, it's acceptable. But once you are able to put it typed, I think that would be better for you, because not everybody has good handwriting. The legibility of what you write is also very, very important. It also allows you to have accuracy on what you write, especially when you put it on the system. It can do a spell check for you. It will underline where your spelling are not fine. When you are using American English or British English, you can always see all of those things. You can have issues where it will going to underline for you to have the synonyms of the words you are using. You can interchange it. So all of those things, for me, it's a personal opinion that I would prefer that the person should type instead of making an handwritten. So that is my own. That's my own personal stand, and I think that was better. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for the effort and the explanation and everything. Thank you so very much. I just have a little question based on this.
Sorry, your ministry.
Oh, sorry. I'm Taiwo Fadairo from Ministry of Health, from the Nutrition Unit. I want to ask again regarding this petition that we were told is in triplicate. I understand one, we go as an advance copy to the authority, the MDA authority, maybe Civil Service Commission or PSO or other. The second one will be retained by the PS of the MDA. Please, sir, I'm confused. The third one, is it the one that will be retained by the officer, or where will that third one be? Thank you. Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
I don't know if it's from my end. I can't hear at all. I'm sorry.
Hello, sir. I just heard you now, but I don't know.
Okay. I didn't hear you from time.
Okay, so I can quickly repeat the question. The question is simple. Right. It's the petition. We are told it will be submitted in triplicates. So the first one, I understand we go as an advance copy to the MDA, that the MDA that we are directing the petition to. The second one will be retained by the PS of the ministry, MDA of the officer. Please, sir, the third copy,
where will the third copy be? Will the third copy be the one that will be retained by the officer, or where will the third copy be, sir?
All right, thank you. It is not every petition or appeal you write that you have an advanced copy. The scenario where advanced copy can come in are issues that we discussed just now. The copies, they are going to be in triplicate. You are going to submit the old triplicate to the head of your MDA. So you will now make a comment or recommendation on one of it. You will have a copy to yourself, which is an acknowledged copy. He will retain one copy to himself or herself, and the copy is going to be sent to the head of government. So the way they will send it is quite, yes, very, very clear. But I also still say that you should make sure you keep a copy of your own, so that should anybody play any fast game on you and manufacture words that you don't write or put any place you don't put anything, any part, it is very, very possible. So just keep a copy of your own that you sign on that this is your original copy. So that's it. Then that's just the way it goes.
Okay.
I think that's
yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Mr. Jamil, Mr. Akerele also spoke to an issue of somebody asked a question. I don't know. That was when I was lost out by the network. When he was saying that if somebody write by proxy for another person or for an illiterate, that whose name is going to appear there. It is the name of the petitioner, his address, the Apple number that should appear in all of those. It is also his signature. And I use Mr. Jamiu Onosonya as an example with myself. When in the course of the program, I said, if Mr. Jamiu Onosonya is helping me away as an illiterate now, and Mr. Onosonya is helping me to write a petition, he will write on my name, he will put my name, Awe Jamiu Abiodu, put my oracle number, then he will put my address. And when he finished writing, I am the one that will sign, and I will or put my thumbprint if I'm so illiterate that I cannot even sign. But he that is writing, Jamiu Onosonya, must put at the end of that petition. This petition is written on behalf of Mr. Jamiu Awe, who is an illiterate, and petition has been read to him, which he concurred with. I am only writing on his behalf because he's an illiterate. He must specify that there. And I don't know if any of us had issue with police one other time like that, and they will tell you to come and write, come and write statements in the station. For you to write a statement, they will ask you, can you write? Can you read? If you cannot write, you cannot read. They will tell you to be telling them what happened, and somebody will be transcribing for you. They will be writing, and when they finish writing, they will now read it for you and said, this thing I am reading, is that what happened? And when you say, yes, that was what happened, they will now say, they will write it down there, that this person is an illiterate, but I, police officer, this, and that is the one that had to write on behalf of this complainant or on behalf of this person who has been complained of. So that one will stand. So it's just the same way in public service when you have a petition. Even outside the service when you write petition, the name of the person who writes, of the petitioner, must be there. And you know, in one of the rules, it said it, that what will make a petition to be admissible is when that person add all of those things that is mentioned. And they actually mentioned it, the name, the address, the signature, and the oracle number. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir.
Over to you, Mr. Jamiu.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for that response, sir. So, Akodu, you have the floor. Akodu or Akudo. Okay, Akudo is not with us. Okay, sir, when are we going to treat some the case studies, sir? Are we still available on that? Mr. Jami, sir.
Can we? That one is a old it's a old thing for a old day again. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm with you. I say it's a old topic on its own for a
On
old
the
day.
Zoom
I
for
think
again.
the case study you said that I see is more or less of even 4 different topics. But then I don't know. I don't know what we need to run around. If we're doing a full recap, maybe at a particular time we just put that as a full recap. But if you want us to do it now,
Okay.
I think it's about 4
We
different topics that I'm saying. And I don't know what happened. I
okay,
think some
sir.
people maybe they want to go and pray or they are just come from church. They are tired.
All
I
right,
see
sir.
they are
So
dropping out.
we are having recap tomorrow, sir, on all the
I see
topics.
some people
So
already dropping out. We have
maybe
727 now from the 900 we're coming from. So
yes.
I don't know.
We are having recap
I'm trying
tomorrow,
to
sir.
check.
So can we run that
Okay, can
tomorrow,
we
sir?
run with the recap? So it's going to be
Yes.
it's a generalized topic. I'm trying to check it to be sure, but it's a generalized
Let's
topic, and it's actually cut across 4 different areas of the concentration.
okay. Let's run it tomorrow, sir.
Tomorrow, Monday, I'm trying to check it and see. I'm trying to see if we can do just that's what I'm.
Okay. Okay, sir. Check the chat box. I've sent our Telegram link there and our YouTube link. So when you get to the YouTube, subscribe, check the video, or check the live section so that you can get all our past section there. So tomorrow we are having recap on most of our session, especially the session that has to do with promotion exercise. So we'll be having recap, some likely question and answer. We will be treating past questions. Tomorrow recap is purely practical, that we need our attention and our engagement. So we ask question, answer. It's more or less interactive. So recap on different topic, most especially all the session highlighted by the Civil Service Commission call circular. So by 12 o'clock tomorrow, we'll quickly run through it and leave everybody to go back and assimilate and prepare for Tuesday. So 12 o'clock, please tell others. We will roll out updates on that anyway. So
Somebody is writing on the platform about your Petition. Say we're having hours exam tomorrow. I don't know who is that.
okay, Abayomi Tosin. Okay, we come what time?
He said they are having
Okay,
exam
yeah, if you
tomorrow.
are, it's not everybody that will benefit from it. So if you are writing your exam tomorrow, please quickly go to our YouTube channel, navigate to video and the live for your guide. So because we can't treat the recap today, we still have another session by 7 o'clock from other channel. So the recap will be 12 o'clock tomorrow. So if you are having your exam tomorrow, we wish you good luck. Please try to navigate to go to our YouTube channel, if you can spend like 1 or 2 hours there today, I think you are good to go for tomorrow, because the YouTube channel have we have all what you need We have covered the syllabus listed by the Civil Service Commission. So the recap is just to know if we are really good to go. It's just like a revision. So nothing, it's not compulsory. We just say let's do the revision and refresh our memory. It's purely interactive. I will be the one to anchor it, and we just need to call attention of some of our facilitators, though most of our facilitators are doing their promotion too, but we look at some of them that have a little time to spend with us. Just question and answer. So nothing much, nothing less. So if you are doing your promotion tomorrow, issue. Thank you so much. So on this note, I don't think we have any question here. Let us work on electronic submission to the head of government in addition to written ones. Olatunji Razak Amusat, I don't understand what you mean. So let us work on electronic submission. I don't understand what you mean by your message. Maybe you raise hand and speak up, so maybe I can. So what time tomorrow? 12 o'clock on the dot.
If I get right what Olatunji is speaking to, is that when issues like this come, that we should be able to have a direct submission to the head of government through maybe a kind of mail. We send mail to them instead of routing all of this letter through some other people, and it's taking too long a time. You just want a direct petition you can write through their mail to the chairman of Civil Service Commission. But I know this will actually cause more harm than good. The reason why the head of your department or head of ministerial department should see it is just to look at the claim that you have and see if it's something they can leave within their MJ, if it's just within there, before it now goes there. If not, you'll be having frivolous issues every other day that we needed to be care of by the head of government. But from the down line, it's something that they can surmount and actually have a clear issue around before it gets to that end. I think that's what is the reason why that route was actually allowed. So if I get you right, I think that's just the answer I can give to that. Thank you.
Okay, for those who are asking for our Telegram channel, I'll send it, and the what is it called? The YouTube channel is also here. So I think
somebody wrote, what is the difference between a whistleblower and a grievance and grievances? I think it is straightforward. You see it in the submission, the slide. But whistleblower are those individuals who actually see, they saw, and they blow out. They say when you see, you speak. So they speak, and there are people that should be protected on what kind of dissatisfaction or issues that happens. Grievances is just something that is not within your own tandem on the procedure and process of governance or administration in your where you work, and you point it out. So they are two different things. Whistleblower is more of a personality that speaks to issue of grievances. Grievances is just the verb to whatever that happens. So that's the thing. Thank you.
Okay, Stella Awosusi was saying, good afternoon, everyone. My question is, can an officer pulled from an office write directly to the PS of his pool office to express his grievance without informing the permanent secretary of his ministry, believing that he belonged to an office? I don't know if you get that, sir.
I got it. If you work directly with somebody, even if you are the PA to the PS and you have an issues you are not comfortable with, there is somebody who's the head you need to report to. So before the PA, who you work with as the PA,
I'm sure in your ministry you will have a supervisor beyond that person, beyond yourself. There is also a director, admin, and teacher who handle all issues with your administrative administrative procedures. So which you need to report the issue to. So before you now get back to the PS, the PS will now say, I bet me no combine teacher let. So if you brief the PS, you have always said that on a personal level of the superior you work with, but yet he will still tell you to go through the route of reporting it. So the fact that you work with the PS does not make the PS be the first person you will report to. You will report to her, but she will still tell you, run it through the office and let it come to me, and we will take care of it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. I think we are going to call it a day, not discussion chapter 12. Leave what.
Mr. Musibao, sorry, coordinator. This Saula Bashiru, please go back like the coordinator has said. Go back on the YouTube and look at it. You said good afternoon. You remind sometimes ago. You said we have not covered chapter 12. No, it's been covered. Maybe you were not on that call on that day when it was done. I think it was Mr. Olaigbe that took this one of our
Yes.
deputy directors. Yes. So
Please
it was the
check
one
our
that took this
YouTube.
level.
Yes,
So
chapter.
please check
We
it.
have
It has
covered
been taken.
all chapters. In fact, today's chapter is the least. In fact, we are stylishly covered this today's chapter with one of the facilitators that treated exit. But for the more clarification, that's why I carved this chapter out. So we have covered all the syllabus.
So it's been treated.
Civil Service Commission word. So go and check our WhatsApp, our YouTube. So without wasting much of our time, I say a very big thank you to everyone for your participation today. And I will call on, as our norms here, I will call on one of the participants to give vote of thanks to our facilitator on behalf of all participants. So don't be shy. Let's your emoji keep on coming. Folakemi Okuzi, you have the floor, Folakemi. Okuzi Folakemi. Unmute yourself. She's laughing. Okay. Unmute yourself, Folakemi. We can't hear you. You are talking. I know you are talking, but unmute yourself.
Good afternoon. I've unmuted myself,
okay.
Sir.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me, sir? Good afternoon, everyone.
Yes, ma. Yes, ma.
Yes,
good afternoon, ma.
Yes, sir. On behalf of everyone that has attended today's lesson, I'm thanking our facilitator and Mr. Jamil for all the good work done today. And I pray God Almighty will enrich your knowledge. You will continue to bloom in Jesus' name. And you will never regret
Amen.
of being a civil servant in Jesus' name. And all good work that you have done today will not be in vain in Jesus' name. Thank you so much. May God bless you all.
Thank you so much, ma. Thank you so much for that wonderful prayer. Please let us appreciate Folakemi and our facilitator, please. Let's appreciate her. Let it keep on coming. So on this note, I will say a very big thank you to our facilitator and everyone that participated in this call. Tomorrow by 12, we are going to run a recap on all topics that has to do with a promotion exercise. All recap. I have some past questions here. We treat past questions. I will send the publicity across as usual to all our channels. So I will try to look for beg some of our facilitators to be part of it so that if you want to ask questions. But majorly is to treat some case study And I'm very sure Mr. Jamiu will be there with us also. I need to spend like 1 to 2 minutes. Mr. Olaigbe, I will call him too, and some of the people that you are expecting. Tomorrow is strictly past question, recap, no story, no this, no that. We will ask question, you will answer. You will ask your question, we will answer. We treated case study, multiple choice question, cut across all what we need to do. Thank you so much for your time. Have a lovely weekend. Bye.
Thank you, sir.